Book marketing for financial advisors. Transform your book into $1 million client attraction system. Digitally narrated by Paul G. McManus. Copyright 2025. All rights reserved. Introduction. The truth about books and your financial advisory practice. Let me start with a truth that might save you years of frustration. That book you're dreaming about writing, or maybe already wrote, isn't going to sell 1 million copies. It's probably not going to get you on CNBC, and it definitely isn't going to generate meaningful income from royalties. But here's the good news. None of that matters. Because if you're a financial advisor reading this guide, what you're really after isn't book sales. It's quality clients who value your expertise, respect your process, and are happy to pay your fees. Let me zoom out for a second and explain why. Since 2016, I've worked with close to 500 financial advisors. Everyone from Barron's Hall of Fame advisors managing billions to advisors just getting started. And here's what I've learned. The advisors who get the best results from their books aren't the ones trying to sell the most copies on Amazon. They're the ones who use their books strategically to attract and land their ideal clients. How well does this work? The transformation is nothing short of remarkable. Advisors I've partnered with have generated over $100 million in fees and commissions since 2016, not through book sales, but by attracting new clients who were drawn to their expertise through their books. These advisors went from feeling invisible in a crowded market to becoming recognized authorities in their field. Their books became the cornerstone of their personal brand, fostering trust and opening doors to opportunities they once thought were out of reach. Why most advisor books fail. Here's a story I hear at least once a week. Paul, I wrote a book, I put it on Amazon, I posted about it on LinkedIn, I even sent an email to my whole client list, but nothing much happened. Or this version. I see other advisors with books, but I can't tell if it's actually doing anything for their business. Is this just a vanity project? Or my personal favorite, I sent copies to all my CPA partners with a nice note, hoping they'd share it with their clients. I even followed up after a month, but all I got was, thanks, I'll take a look when I have time. The reason most advisor books fail isn't that they're badly written, it's that most advisors are following generic book marketing advice that's totally wrong for our industry. The real ROI. Let me share what's possible when you do this right. Prospects who come to your first meeting having already read your philosophy and approach. Centers of influence who actively share your book with their entire client base. A steady stream of speaking opportunities where you reach your ideal audience. The ability to send a physical copy of your book to anyone in the United States for less than the cost of a Starbucks Frappuccino. A system where people go from stranger to new client in as little as one meeting with you because you've built trust in advance through your book. How do I know this works? Well, let me share something personal. My own books have each generated over $1 million in revenue, not from book sales, but from using them strategically to attract ideal clients. My first book alone brought in $1.1 million over 3 years. My second book did so in just over 2 years. That's the power of mastering these strategies. Each book you publish generates better and faster results because you've learned which activities actually move the needle and how to execute them more effectively. And look, I'm not special. I'm not famous. When people introduce me as a thought leader, it still makes me giggle. I'm just a regular guy who figured out how to help financial advisors use books to grow their practices in a way that actually works. The 6 strategies that actually work. This guide is built around 6 specific strategies that we've proven work for financial advisors. As a general rule, we recommend executing these strategies in this exact order because, as you'll see, each one builds upon and enhances what came before. 1. The Inner Circle Soft Launch. A systematic way to turn your best clients into your biggest advocates without feeling salesy. 2. Foundation building. How to set up your book website and Amazon presence to capture leads instead of just selling books. 3. The Amazon bestseller strategy. How to become a best-selling author, because that credential instantly elevates your authority and credibility. 4. The audiobook advantage. Turn your book into an audio experience that captures prospects during their commute, workouts, and daily routines. 5. The center of influence strategy. How to use your book to transform casual professional relationships into real revenue-generating partnerships. 6. The virtual speaking tour. How to leverage podcast guesting to reach thousands of ideal prospects without leaving your office. How these strategies work together. Let me show you how this all flows together from your prospect's perspective with 3 different ways it typically happens. Scenario 1, the podcast listener. Imagine someone is listening to their favorite podcast, one they trust and tune into regularly. They hear you as the guest expert, and they're immediately intrigued because you're talking about exactly the challenges they're facing. You mention your book, and because you got your foundation set up right, they can get it for free from your website. While they're reading or listening to your book, they're getting your carefully crafted email sequence. They're seeing raving testimonials from your inner circle. They're noticing you're a best-selling author. By the time they schedule a call with you, they've read your book, received valuable follow-up content, seen social proof from people just like them. I got a recommendation from a trusted source. Already bought into your approach. Scenario 2, the CPA referral. Or let's look at another way this works. Your prospect is sitting in their CPA's office reviewing their tax return. Their CPA notices they've got some complex retirement planning needs and says, I actually wrote the foreword to a book that addresses exactly what you're dealing with. Let me give you a copy. Because it's coming from their trusted CPA, they read it that weekend. They noticed the website mentioned in the book and visit it. Now they're seeing how you've helped others just like them, noticing you're a best-selling author, reading the foreword their own CPA wrote, understanding your unique approach. By the time they schedule a call with you, you're not just another advisor. You're the expert their CPA personally endorsed, the one who literally wrote the book on solving their specific challenges. Scenario 3, the friend referral. Here's one more way it often happens. Your prospect is playing golf with their friend, one of your best clients. They're talking about retirement planning, and your client says, "You've got to read my advisor's book. It completely changed how I think about how I manage my spending. I'll text you the link to the audiobook." This prospect is now reading your book for 2 powerful reasons. Their friend is raving about the results they're getting with you. They're seeing the exact strategies that worked for their friend laid out in your book. When they visit your website, everything clicks. The testimonials include people they know or relate to. The case studies sound just like their situation. Your approach already worked for their friend. They're seeing why their friend trusts you so much. By the time they schedule a call, they're already pre-sold. How could they not be? Their friend is getting great results, they've read your methodology, and they've seen exactly how you can help them too. See how that works? Each strategy reinforces the others, creating multiple paths for ideal prospects to find and trust you. Whether they discover you through a podcast, get your book from their CPA, or have a friend rave about you, the system guides them naturally toward becoming a client. This isn't about hoping the right people find your book. It's about proactively creating multiple paths for your ideal prospects to discover you, build trust in advance, and ultimately want to work with you. Who this guide is for. This guide is perfect for what I call the successful but hungry financial advisor. You know who you are? You've been doing this for years, maybe even decades. You're managing serious money. We're talking hundreds of millions in many cases. You work with hundreds of families who trust you, refer you, and honestly appreciate what you do for them. But here's the thing. You're not looking to coast. You didn't get where you are by settling for good enough. In fact, you're probably thinking, I'm doing great work for my clients. I should be helping more people like them. My practice is solid. Now it's time to really scale it. I've got the foundation built. Let's put some serious growth on top of it. I know I could be the go-to advisor in my market. I just need the right system. Think of it this way. If you're doing this well with just your regular marketing and client referrals, imagine what's possible when you add these proven strategies on top of your already successful foundation. And let me add something here. This isn't just for individual advisors. If you're the CEO of a wealth management firm looking to create a personal brand that elevates your entire team, these strategies are perfect for you too. Because here's what I've learned working with firms. When the leader builds authority, the whole team benefits. Your book becomes a tool that every advisor in your firm can use to attract and land ideal clients. Beyond traditional book marketing. So, why does this matter for your broader brand and long-term client acquisition funnel? 1. Vision and positioning. At its core, using a book to attract new clients isn't just a marketing tactic. It's a powerful way to solidify your role as a teacher and thought leader. And remember, your brand is ultimately your reputation multiplied by the impact you make on others' lives. Each of the strategies you're about to discover supports the larger story you're telling about what you stand for and whom you serve. 2. Deepening trust. When a prospect reads your book, hears you speak on a podcast, or receives a recommendation from their CPA partner, they're not merely looking for an advisor with good ideas. They're looking for belief alignment. Who is this person? Do they operate from a place of integrity? And are they genuinely invested in my success? Your book, your public appearances, and your professional endorsements act as trust accelerators in the funnel. They help a skeptical or time-strapped prospective client move from awareness to confidence in your expertise. 3. Creating a magnetic presence. Another reason the why behind these strategies matters is that each tactic creates multiple points of contact with your audience. People may start by reading your book's introduction, then follow you on social media, then hear you on a podcast, and later decide to schedule a meeting. That path from awareness to action is rarely linear. By embedding these strategies into your overall brand approach, you're multiplying the number of ways a prospect can discover, learn from, and connect with you. 4. Alignment with core values. Finally, remember that how you engage your audience and why is a reflection of your core values. If one of your key values is education, for example, then every step you take, a short book, a free audiobook, an informational podcast appearance, reinforces the idea that you are a guide and problem solver. That consistency between what you believe and how you show up in these marketing channels is part of what keeps clients for the long haul, ensuring they see you not just as an advisor, but as a thought partner in their financial journey. 5. Building team alignment and long-term brand equity. Beyond client-facing benefits, your book-based strategies also resonate within your own team. When employees see you writing, speaking, and collaborating with respected partners, they gain a clearer sense of the firm's vision and are often more excited to share in it. This energy radiates outward to clients and prospects. And remember, a book is a long-lived asset. A prospect who stumbles upon your work years from now will be introduced to the very same core philosophy that drives you today. It's not just a marketing piece, it's an enduring component of your brand's legacy. 6. Bottom line, the strategies in this guide aren't standalone hacks. They're instruments of a larger vision for your practice. They allow you to speak to your ideal clients in a way that matches both your personal brand story and their aspirations. When woven together thoughtfully, these tactics create an ecosystem in which potential clients encounter your expertise repeatedly and meaningfully, often before they ever have a one-on-one call. That's the real reason to invest the time, energy, and resources into building your authority through authorship and strategic promotion. It accelerates trust, expands your impact, and ultimately brings you closer to living out your mission every day. How to use this guide. Let's make this simple. You're busy, and I respect that. I've designed this book so you can grasp the big picture in about an hour. No fluff, no filler. This isn't meant to linger half-read on your shelf. Step 1. Read it straight through. Start by reading the entire guide from cover to cover, even if you're tempted to jump ahead. You'll get a bird's eye view of how each piece fits into the larger system, like seeing the entire puzzle before zeroing in on individual strategies. Step 2. Go back and prioritize. Once you've taken in the overall framework, circle back to the sections or chapters that resonate most with your immediate needs. If you're already on solid footing with Amazon, for example, you might skip right to the chapter on leveraging your book with podcast appearances or centers of influence. Step 3. Implement in real time. Don't let this become theory that never sees daylight. Implement as you go. Schedule an inner circle soft launch phone call, outline your website funnel, or draft your first set of follow-up emails. Little actions taken now will yield huge dividends later. Step 4. Leverage our support if you need it. If you'd like hands-on guidance for any of these steps, reach out directly at Paul at moreclientsmorefun.com. My team and I specialize in helping advisors transform a simple book into a $1 million client attraction system. Why it matters now. 6 months from now, you could either be exactly where you are today, still hoping to attract your ideal clients, or you could be welcoming a steady stream of prospects who already trust your philosophy and are eager to work with you. The strategies in this guide work. I've seen it happen for hundreds of advisors. Now, it's your turn to take action. Remember, you wrote or plan to write this book for a reason, to showcase your expertise, help more people, and build a practice that reflects your core values. Use it strategically and consistently, and watch how it becomes the linchpin of your brand, bringing in the kind of clients who appreciate everything you stand for. Chapter 1. The Inner Circle Soft Launch. Your secret weapon. Let me share something that might sound counterintuitive. The people who are going to drive your initial success aren't strangers on Amazon. They're the people who already know, like, and trust you. Now, here's where most advisors get nervous. I see them hesitate, worried about bothering their best clients, or appearing needy to their professional partners. But let me share something fascinating that completely changed how I think about asking for help. Back in the 1700s, Benjamin Franklin faced a challenge. He had a rival in the Pennsylvania legislature who couldn't stand him. Now, most of us would try to win someone over with favors or gifts. But Franklin, he did something completely counterintuitive. He asked to borrow a rare book from the legislator's private library. Not only did his rival lend him the book, but this small act of helping Franklin transformed their relationship. The legislator became one of his strongest supporters and lifelong friends. Why did this work? Today, psychologists call it the Benjamin Franklin effect. When someone does a favor for you, they're actually more likely to help you again than if you had done the favor for them. Our minds look for ways to justify our actions. When we help someone, we subconsciously think, I must like this person. Why else would I have helped them? It all comes down to a simple truth. People support a world they help build. When someone contributes to your success, even in a small way, they become invested in that success. They want to see it flourish. This insight is about to transform how you launch your book. Instead of feeling awkward about asking for help, you'll see that by inviting people to contribute, you're actually strengthening your relationships. So forget sending a mass email saying, hey, I wrote a book. Please buy it. We're going to tap into this powerful principle. we're going to invite your best clients and professional colleagues into the process in a way that makes them want to help and turns them into active advocates for you and your business. And there's a reason we start here. Everything we're going to do with your book, from building your online presence to becoming a bestseller to landing podcast appearances, works better when you start with your inner circle. Here's why. Their testimonials become the foundation for your social proof. Their enthusiasm fuels your Amazon bestseller launch. Their introductions lead to your first new clients and center of influence opportunities. Their feedback helps refine your message for bigger platforms. Think of your inner circle as the first domino. When you tip it correctly, every other strategy becomes more powerful. That's why successful advisors don't skip the step. They know it creates the momentum that drives everything else. The 80-20 principle in action. Let's do some simple math here. Let's say you work with 500 families. Now, using the 80-20 rule, and this holds true for practically every advisor I work with, about 20% of those clients, so that's 100 families, are your absolute best. These are the ones you'd clone if you could. They value your advice, they implement your recommendations, and they probably already refer you to their friends and family without you having to ask. These are the people we're going to focus on first. Identifying your inner circle. Let me be specific about who we're looking for. Clients who've been with you for at least a few years, people who appreciate your approach to planning, clients who engage with your process, those who've had good results working with you, folks who genuinely seem to like you, CPAs who've already sent you multiple clients over the years, estate attorneys who actively engage with your planning process, other professionals who've shown they value your expertise. The goal is 20%. If you're not hitting that number, you're probably being too selective. This isn't just about identifying your current advocates. It's about creating opportunities for deeper relationships with people who could become strong advocates through this process. Running your soft launch. Let me walk you through exactly how this works. The step-by-step process. 1. First contact, pick up the phone and make a one-on-one connection. Here's exactly what to say. Hey, name. I've been working on something I'm really excited about. I'm in the final stages of getting my book published on topic. I'm putting together a small group of my top clients to get their input. 2. Set expectations. The book only takes about an hour or two to read. I'd love to send you an advanced reader copy, and then maybe we could jump on a quick Zoom call so I can get your feedback. Would that work for you? 3. Create momentum. Perfect. I'll have the advanced copy sent to you next week. We're gathering testimonials for the book launch by date about 3 weeks out. Could we go ahead and schedule a quick 15-minute Zoom call for the week of date? I'd love to hear what resonated with you most, and, with your permission, possibly include your testimonial in the book launch. Does that work for your schedule? See what we did there? Let's break down why each step works. In step 1, we're using several powerful psychological triggers. I've been working on something shows personal investment. Really excited conveys genuine enthusiasm. Small group of my top clients creates exclusivity. Get their input invokes the Benjamin Franklin effect we discussed earlier. Step 2 removes all friction by setting clear time expectations, hour or two to read, using professional language, advanced reader copy, making the ask feel small and manageable, quick Zoom call, giving them control. Would that work for you? Step 3 is where the magic happens because of it. Creates immediate momentum. I'll have the advanced copy sent to you next week. Sets a clear timeline that drives action. Schedules the follow-up right away while they're engaged. Transparently explain how their feedback might be used. Makes them feel part of something special. The book launch. Notice how we never actually asked them to write a testimonial. Instead, we're creating a natural conversation about what resonated with them. Their genuine responses during that conversation will become much more powerful testimonials than if we'd asked them to write something. This entire sequence is built on the Franklin effect principle. By asking for their help in a way that makes them feel valued and important, we're actually strengthening the relationship through the process. Timeline and scheduling. Let me lay out an aggressive 2-week campaign to kick this off, followed by the feedback collection phase, weeks 1 to 2, the sprint, days 1 to 5, make 50 calls, 10 per day, ship books same day to those who say yes, days 6 to 10, make 50 calls, 10 per day, ship books same day. Here's how to make this manageable. Block 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. for calls each day. Expect 3 to 4 minutes per call. Process, book shipments, and schedule Zoom calls each afternoon. Ship books in daily batches through Amazon Prime. Weeks 3 to 8. Feedback collection. Weeks 3 to 4. Early reader. Zoom calls 20 calls per week. Weeks 5 to 6. Complete remaining calls 20 calls per week. Weeks 7 to 8. Compile testimonials and get approvals. Pro tips. Schedule all Zoom calls during the initial conversation. Batch your calls in the morning when people are fresh. Ship books same day to maintain momentum. Schedule 4 to 5 Zoom calls per day during feedback weeks. Leave buffer room for reschedules. Remember, the intensity of the first 2 weeks creates energy and excitement around your book launch. When everyone receives their copy within days of saying yes, it shows you're serious and professional. Advanced reader copy options. You have 2 choices for distributing advanced reader copies: PDFs or physical books through Amazon's print-on-demand service. We strongly recommend using Amazon to ship physical copies. Physical books have dramatically higher completion rates, arrive professionally packaged, and create a tangible presence that PDFs simply can't match. The entire process is streamlined. You can ship copies same day to anyone who says yes during your outreach calls. When sending copies, simply tell your inner circle, "I'll send you one of our advanced reader copies through Amazon. We're using their printing service to ensure you get a professional quality version for review. You'll receive it in just a couple of days." Process your book orders each afternoon for everyone who said yes that morning. This keeps your launch moving efficiently and ensures books arrive while enthusiasm is high. Tracking your inner circle launch. Let's talk about something crucial that most advisors overlook: systematically tracking every step of your advanced reader campaign. When you're reaching out to 100 people over 2 weeks, details will get blurry fast. Create a simple tracking sheet with these key data points: name and contact information, date of initial call, response, yes, no, call back, the date book was shipped, scheduled Zoom call date time, call completed, yes, no, testimonial status, introduction referral status. If you have an executive assistant or virtual assistant, bring them into this process immediately. Have them update the tracking sheet daily, process book orders each afternoon, send calendar invites for Zoom calls, monitor book delivery status, send reminder emails before calls. Pro tip: don't overcomplicate this. A simple spreadsheet works perfectly. The key is having one central place where you can quickly see exactly where each person is in the process and what needs to happen next. Remember, missing follow-ups or forgetting details can kill your momentum. A basic tracking system keeps everything moving smoothly and ensures no opportunities slip through the cracks. Gathering powerful testimonials. The Zoom call strategy. Let me be crystal clear about something. You cannot skip the Zoom calls. Period. I say this with a smile, but I'm dead serious. Skipping these calls is the fastest way to squander all the momentum you've built. These calls serve multiple essential purposes, and while they take time, they're some of the most valuable minutes you'll invest in your book launch and your broader business. Let me show you exactly how to make them work. Setting up the call. 1. Use Zoom or any platform that lets you record. 2. Schedule 15-minute slots, but block 30 minutes. 3. Let them know you'll record the conversation, explaining it's just to capture their natural responses for testimonials. 4. Make it clear the recording is private. During the call, ask simple questions like, was this a valuable read? What is the most impactful favorite part? Least impactful, least favorite part. The magic question. After they've shared their thoughts about the book, say, I really appreciate your feedback. I'm passionate about getting these ideas out to more people who could benefit from them. Who do you think should know about this book? Then listen. Really listen. Their answers will often surprise you with opportunities you never considered. Remember, these calls aren't just about gathering testimonials. They're about activating advocates who will help expand your book's reach far beyond what you could do alone. Don't underestimate how powerful these conversations can be when done right. 3 powerful outcomes. 1. Natural testimonials. Instead of asking them to write something, you'll capture their genuine reactions. Pro tip. Don't try to handle the technical aspects yourself. Have an assistant manage recording and organizing Zoom calls. Creating transcripts, using AI tools like GPT to craft concise, powerful testimonials based on the transcript. Managing the approval process both with the client as well as with your compliance department. Your only job is to get on the calls, ask good questions, and build relationships. Everything else can and should be delegated. 2. Social proof. These testimonials become powerful influence tools that work across all your marketing channels. Remember, people trust what other people say about you more than what you say about yourself. 3. Strategic introductions. Here's where the Benjamin Franklin effect really kicks in. Because they're now invested in your book's success, when you ask for their advice on getting the book to a broader audience, they'll often suggest friends who need to read it, colleagues who should know about it, speaking opportunities, professional groups you should connect with, other ways to share your message. Don't rush this part. Let them share as many ideas as they want. You've created an environment where they're invested in your success. Let them show you how they can help. The fortune is in the follow-up. When you connect with someone they've introduced, always circle back to thank them. Share positive outcomes. Hey, John, I just had a great call with Tom. Thank you so much for the introduction. This feedback loop is crucial. It validates their risk in making the introduction. When people see their introductions leading to success, they're naturally motivated to make more. Remember, people take a social risk when making introductions. The biggest reward they can receive is knowing their introduction was valuable. Never skip this step. It's often the difference between getting one introduction and creating a lasting referral partner. The hidden cost of procrastination. Let me share something that puzzles me. I watch advisors not along with this strategy, agree it makes perfect sense, and then not do it. Or worse, do it halfway. They'll reach out to 10 people instead of 100. They'll skip the Zoom calls. They'll get to it later. I get it. This process pushes you outside your comfort zone. It feels uncomfortable asking for help. It takes time. But let me show you the hidden cost of not fully committing. You reach out to 100 of your best clients and COIs. 80 agree to participate. This is our typical response rate. Each conversation leads to an average of 2 solid introductions, referrals. That's 160 qualified introductions, referrals. 50 of these may become clients over the next 6 months. These new clients provide an average lifetime value of $25,000 each. Do the math. That's $1,250,000 in new revenue from a 2-month campaign, far beyond what most marketing activities, networking events, or ads could hope to generate in the same time frame. Why it matters for your broader brand and client acquisition funnel. Yes, those numbers are compelling, but there's a bigger story unfolding here. When you engage your top clients and COIs in a genuine, collaborative way, you're doing more than planting the seeds for quick revenue. You're aligning your brand with the people who already trust you, allowing them to become co-creators of your success story. This early momentum isn't just about referrals today, it's about 1. Brand alignment. Your best clients see your dedication to quality firsthand. By asking for their feedback and letting them participate in your book's launch, you're showcasing your values, collaboration, authenticity, and service. They'll evangelize those same values to the people they introduce to you. 2. Accelerated trust. Prospects who enter your funnel via a trusted referral or via a glowing testimonial from your top clients come in pre-sold on your expertise. This shortens the time from nice to meet you to let's talk deeper, vastly improving your client acquisition process. 3. Long-term advocacy. People support what they help create. Once your best clients and COIs feel pride and ownership in the launch of your book, they'll continue advocating for you over the long haul. These aren't merely one-time referrals, they're ongoing advocates fueling consistent growth. 4. Building a legacy. Ultimately, the Inner Circle soft launch sets the tone for the rest of your authority marketing journey. You're not just securing immediate leads, you're establishing yourself as an advisor whose business is built on genuine relationships and shared success, a reputation that resonates far beyond a 2-month campaign. Next steps. You now have a ready-made plan to tap into the enthusiasm and credibility of your biggest supporters. If you need help executing this strategy, we recommend our book marketing coach program. Reach out to me directly at paul@moreclientsmorefun.com to learn more. In the next chapter, we'll build on the momentum you've just created to set up a rock-solid foundation, your book website, your Amazon presence, and an automated follow-up system that works 24/7. By starting with your inner circle, you're establishing not only a potent referral engine, but also the deeper trust and brand alignment you need to make every other strategy in this book exponentially more powerful. Chapter 2. Foundation building, getting the basics right. Let me be very clear about something. Amazon is not your friend. Well, okay, that's not entirely true. Amazon is your friend in the same way that your office printer or mail carrier is your friend. They provide a valuable service, but they're not going to grow your business for you. I talk to financial advisors every day, and I hear the same story over and over. They've published their book on Amazon, shared it on LinkedIn, and sent an email to their client list, but nothing happens. Maybe a few sales will trickle in. Maybe their mom buys a copy, and if she's like my mom, she still hasn't read it. Sorry, Mom. But here's what's interesting. This lack of results, that's perfectly okay. Now I can show you how to use your book the right way. Let me share a quick story about Mark, a retirement advisor in Boston. Before we worked together, Mark was spending hours with prospects who weren't serious. Here's what happened his first month using our Amazon strategy. Sent 12 books to qualified prospects. Total cost, $48. Result, 3 new clients worth $45,000 in revenue. That's a 937% return on investment. And Mark, he now has more time to serve his existing clients because he's not wasting hours with tire kickers. In this chapter, I'll show you how to turn Amazon into your personal fulfillment powerhouse, delivering your book to prospects for less than the cost of a Frappuccino at Starbucks. Then, we'll build your book website, not another advisor website, but a laser-focused conversion machine that turns visitors into leads. You'll also learn how to set up an automated follow-up system that nurtures prospects without being pushy, and how to get everything approved by compliance. Yes, it's possible. Everything I'm about to show you is proven to work with hundreds of advisors. Let's dive in and build your foundation the right way. The Amazon reality check. Most advisors come to Amazon dreaming of bestseller lists and steady royalties. The reality? You'll likely sell a few dozen copies, mostly to family, friends, and maybe a few clients, and pocket about $2 per sale. Worse still, you'll have no way of knowing who bought your book or how to follow up with them. In other words, Amazon isn't going to do much to help you gain real traction or build meaningful relationships with prospects. But here's what is so useful about Amazon. Amazon isn't just a retail store, it's a fulfillment powerhouse. Here's exactly what I mean. Your cost for the book itself is only about $4, and Amazon will ship it directly to your prospect through Prime at no additional charge. Think about that. A professionally printed book delivered straight to your prospect's door. Compare that to FedEx, where you're paying $10 just for shipping, plus burning time driving to and from their store. So let me show you exactly how this works. You're on the phone with a prospect, having a great conversation about retirement planning. Instead of saying, "Hey, check out my book on Amazon," you say, "You know what? We've covered a lot about retirement planning today. I wrote a book that goes deeper into these strategies. Give me your physical mailing address. I'll send you a complimentary copy." Then, and this is the part most advisors miss, before ending the call, you say, "The book will arrive in 3 to 4 days. It's designed to be a quick read that you can finish in about an hour or two. When would you like to schedule our next meeting to discuss the strategies in more detail?" Think about what just happened there. For only $4, you've got their mailing address. You've given them something valuable. You've got forward momentum with a scheduled follow-up. You've set clear expectations about when they'll get it and how long it takes to read. You're not just another advisor. You're the one who wrote the book on the topic. Imagine having a simple system that separates serious prospects from tire kickers well before you invest your valuable time. By asking new leads to read a short 1-hour book before their next meeting, you ensure only those truly committed to making changes move forward. It's a built-in filter that quickly reveals who's ready to engage and who's not. The structure is straightforward. A quick, no-pressure initial call, just 15 minutes, to determine if they're a fit. If they are, you send them your book and schedule the second meeting only after they've committed to reading it. When that follow-up happens, your prospect arrives informed and engaged. Instead of pitching, you spend your time answering their questions, addressing their concerns, and laying out the next steps of how to work together. They're already on board with your philosophy, so the conversation naturally shifts from, "Why should we work together?" to, "How do we get started?" This approach harnesses Amazon's print-on-demand service as your behind-the-scenes fulfillment center. With just a few clicks, a professionally printed copy of your book shows up at their door, instantly elevating your credibility and making you stand out from other advisors. It's an elegant, efficient process that not only streamlines prospecting, but also positions you as the trusted expert they've been looking for. In short, it turns a routine introduction into a confident, mutually beneficial start to the advisory relationship. My personal experience using this approach. I've used this process in my own business for years, and it's been a game changer, especially for someone like me, who's more naturally introverted and values both safeguarding my time and preserving my mental energy. Here's what my results look like. Over 50% of those who schedule the initial 15-minute conversation choose to move forward to a second, more in-depth meeting, 30 to 60 minutes. Of that group, 80% end up becoming clients, typically without needing any further appointments. This streamlined system helps ensure that by the time we're having the second conversation, the prospect is already well-informed and excited about us working together. My book handles most of the heavy lifting, allowing me to spend more time doing what I love, helping clients, while staying energized and focused. Understanding Amazon's two-system setup. Let me walk you through something crucial about Amazon that most authors miss. There are actually two different ways to get your book into people's hands, and choosing the right one makes all the difference. First, there's Kindle Direct Publishing, KDP, which is where you'll publish your book. Through KDP, you can order what they call author copies at a discount, plus shipping. However, I rarely use this option. Let me tell you why. Instead, I use Amazon's retail site with print on demand. Here's exactly how this works. 1. I price the book at the lowest amount Amazon allows, usually around $4. 2. I order through Amazon Prime just like any other customer. 3. Amazon prints and ships the book in 3 to 4 days. 4. Shipping is free with Prime. Now, you might be thinking, Paul, why not use the discounted author copies? Here's the magic of this approach. No waiting for bulk shipping. No inventory to manage. Books arrive in Amazon's professional packaging. Each book can be sent directly to different addresses. Prime shipping means it's actually cheaper than author copies with shipping. Think about it. For $4 total, that's print and shipping, you can have Amazon print and deliver your book to any prospect in the United States in 3 to 4 days. Try getting that deal from your local print shop. Your book website, the central hub. Now that you understand how to use Amazon as your fulfillment service, let me show you a critical mistake that most advisors make, and it's costing them a fortune in lost opportunities. Here's the problem. When you tell people, check out my book on Amazon, you're actually shooting yourself in the foot. Why? Because Amazon never tells you who bought your book. Think about that for a second. Someone was interested enough to spend money on your book, but you have no way to follow up with them. And let me tell you something I've learned over the years. The fortune is in the follow-up. Let me show you what I mean with 2 quick scenarios. Scenario 1, you're a guest on a podcast and thousands of people hear you share your expertise. Some of them are intrigued enough to want your book. Scenario 2, you're speaking on a webinar or at a local event about retirement planning to dozens of potential prospects. During your presentation, several attendees expressed interest in learning more about your approach. In both situations, if you send them to Amazon, what happens? They might buy it, read it, and then what? You've lost the ability to continue the conversation. Whether it's dozens of webinar attendees or thousands of podcast listeners, these are all potential relationships that disappear into the Amazon void. This is exactly why you need a carefully crafted book website, a place where you manage the relationship from the very first interaction. Instead of saying, check out my book on Amazon, you'll direct them to your book website where they can get a free copy in exchange for their email address. Now, you're building a list of interested prospects. Now, you can follow up. Now, you can nurture those relationships. Let's break down the essential elements your book website needs, using my own as an example. 1. Strong positioning and benefits. Your first impression matters. If you visit www.theshortbookformula.com, you'll see how I position myself and my offer right up front. Unlike a traditional company website, this page focuses entirely on my personal brand as an author and how my book can help the reader. I spell out who I am, what they'll get immediately, free audiobook and ebook, and the larger benefit they stand to gain. 2. Strategic social proof. Immediately after introducing myself, I reinforce credibility, testimonials from happy clients who've benefited from the strategies in the book. Media logos. Through our strategic press release system that reaches over 500 media outlets, we typically secure placements on NBC, Fox, MarketWatch, and other recognized platforms. 3. Multiple conversion points. The site has 2 key objectives in this order. Primary, get visitors to request a complimentary copy of the book and join your email list. Secondary, once they've engaged with your material, make it easy for them to schedule a call when they're ready. 4. Professional scheduling integration. For prospects who are eager to talk, integrate an online calendar tool like OnceHub or Calendly. Include multiple, well-placed schedule a call buttons, so when someone's ready, they can self-schedule quickly and easily. No back and forth emails necessary. 5. Enhanced navigation and resources. Consider adding an About section that reinforces your authority. A Media section, optional, showcasing press and interviews. Additional resources like a blog or podcast episodes if they support your credibility and help prospects learn more. Here's the key point. While you do want people to schedule calls, you don't want them to jump in too soon. Your goal is to have them read your book first. Why? Because a prospect who's taken the time to read and understand your approach is much more likely to be an ideal client. Your book educates, pre-sells, and builds trust in advance so that when they do reach out, it's because they're truly ready for what you offer. In other words, your book website isn't just a landing page, it's a carefully designed lead nurturing system. It ensures that by the time a prospect is ready to talk, they're already on board with your philosophy, making the conversation more productive and ultimately more likely to lead to a long-term client relationship. Delivering on your promise, the post opt-in experience. Once someone provides their email address, they're immediately redirected to your delivery page. You can see an example at www.theshortbookformula.com/audiobook. This is where you fulfill your promise, and here's what's important. You need to do it in a way that maximizes both consumption and conversion. Multiple consumption options at zero cost. You'll deliver your content in 3 distinct formats, all without inventory costs or shipping fees. 1. A professional flipbook version, a digital format that's not on Amazon Kindle. 2. The complete audiobook, which often gets more engagement than reading. 3. A 15 to 20 minute author interview video that summarizes key concepts. This variety is strategic. Some of your highly interested prospects will engage with all 3 formats, while others will choose their preferred method. Plus, there's no cost to you or the prospect. You're delivering valuable content instantly. The key is making it easy for your prospects to consume your message in whatever way works best for them. On your delivery page, you'll also include a Your Next Step section, inviting them to schedule a call with you using an online calendar such as OneHub or Calendly. This approach accomplishes several things simultaneously. 1. Delivers immediate value. 2. Provides multiple ways to consume your message. 3. Maintains your professional positioning. 4. Opens the door for the next step, scheduling a call. 5. Respects that different people have different learning preferences. Remember, your goal isn't just to get your book into their hands, it's to get your message into their minds. By providing multiple formats, you maximize the chances they'll actually consume and internalize your content. The follow-up machine, your automated email campaign. Let's talk about why your email follow-up sequence is absolutely crucial. Here's what the statistics tell us about people who first discover you. 10% are ready to jump on a call immediately. 30% are genuinely interested in checking out your book. 60% have curiosity but aren't ready for immediate action. Note, these percentages fluctuate based on the discovery channel. Event speaking and podcast appearances yield higher engagement rates, while cold outreach typically results in lower numbers. Making every website visit count. You've done the hard work of getting people to your book website. Now, let's not waste that opportunity. Here's why having a simple opt-in form and follow-up system is absolutely essential. It takes 5+ touches before most prospects are ready to schedule time on your calendar. People only opt in when genuinely interested. Nobody needs more emails. Most aren't ready to schedule immediately, nor do you want them to. You want prospects to schedule only when they're primed to take action. Your follow-up sequence becomes your 24/7 salesperson. The ideal sequence structure. Minimum foundation. 5 essential messages. 1. Welcome plus book access. 2. Key concept. Deep dive. 3. Client success story. 4. Common challenge solution. 5. Invitation to connect. Optimal campaign. 90-day nurture. 30 carefully crafted messages. Systematic delivery over 90 days. A mix of educational content and soft calls to action. Focus on building trust and demonstrating expertise. Campaign duration. Keep nurturing until one of 3 things happens. 1. They schedule a consultation. 2. They unsubscribe. 3. The 90-day sequence completes. Move to long-term broadcast list. Implementation essentials. Keep opt-in simple, email address and first name only. Add phone number as an optional field. About 80% will provide it when not required. Deliver value in every message. Maintain consistent contact. Track engagement metrics. Test and optimize content. Remember, your follow-up sequence is not about selling, it's about nurturing relationships and being there when prospects are ready to take the next step of scheduling time on your calendar. Working with compliance. Getting your book website approved is usually straightforward because you've already done the heavy lifting. Your book itself has been approved by compliance. Here's how to make this process smooth. What to expect. Since your book content is already compliance approved, the website review typically focuses on presentation and disclosures. Most compliance departments request minor adjustments like specific disclosure placement, minor wording changes. This step is usually simple because you're primarily creating a delivery mechanism for already approved content. Approaching compliance early and collaboratively typically results in quick approval with minimal revisions. Pulling it all together, here's what really matters from what we just covered. 1. Amazon equals your fulfillment partner. $4 delivers your book to any prospect in 3 days. 2. Stop losing opportunities. Sending people to Amazon means losing follow-up opportunities. 3. Your book website equals your conversion hub. Exchange a free version of your book for an email address, always. 4. Multiple formats. Drive engagement. Different people consume content differently. Give them options. 5. Your follow-up system matters. Automated follow-up turns subscribers into prospects. Timing is key. 6. Your book filters prospects. 15-minute call plus book equals qualified prospect. 7. Handle compliance early. Get approval first and implement smoothly. The steps in this chapter create the foundation for everything that follows. When you get them right, your book becomes a powerful tool for attracting ideal clients. When you don't, it's just another book on Amazon, collecting digital dust instead of generating appointments. In the next chapter, you'll discover how to leverage Amazon's algorithm, time your launch perfectly, and create the kind of momentum that turns author into authority. Chapter 3. Becoming an Amazon best-selling author. It's easier than you think. You're at a financial services conference, steam rising from your coffee cup, when the MC's voice cuts through the pre-lunch chatter. Please welcome our next speaker, your name, best-selling author of... The energy in the room shifts instantly. Phones emerge from pockets. Those same advisors who were checking emails moments ago are now Googling your name. That's the power of those 2 words. Best-selling author. I've witnessed this transformation many times. Last month, one of my clients told me, I'm the same advisor I was before with the same knowledge and skills, but now people instantly see me as the expert I've always been. That simple addition to her bio, best-selling author, changed how prospects and peers perceived her expertise. Here's the truth about becoming a best-selling author. You don't need Oprah's endorsement or a 6-figure advance. You need a strategy, and while there are many paths to bestseller status, one stands out as the most achievable: Amazon. Bestseller lists. Why Amazon is the smart choice. Traditional bestseller lists like the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal operate like exclusive Manhattan nightclubs, complete with velvet ropes and mysterious doormen. To get past these gatekeepers, you typically need one of three things. 1. Celebrity status with regular major media appearances. 2. A $250,000 plus investment with no guarantee of success. Yes, really. We've seen firms charge this much for NYT bestseller campaigns. 3. A massive, engaged email list of 100,000 plus loyal subscribers who are active members of your community and can be counted on to respond when called upon. Amazon's bestseller list operates differently. It's transparent, measurable, and, most importantly, achievable for authors who approach it strategically. This isn't about gaming the system. It's about understanding how Amazon's algorithm works and positioning your book for success. We've seen advisors use their Amazon bestseller status to land speaking engagements, attract higher value clients, and become recognized experts in their field. The credential opens doors that previously seemed shut. In this chapter, I'll show you exactly how to leverage Amazon's platform to achieve bestseller status. The same process that's worked for hundreds of advisors we've helped. Understanding sales velocity, the one-day push. To become an Amazon bestseller, there's only one number that matters: your sales in a single day. Here's why. 500 books in a month equals great sales, but no bestseller status. 500 books in a week equals excellent sales, but no bestseller status. 500 books in one day equals bestseller status achieved. Here's why this matters. Amazon's bestseller rankings are updated hourly, but they're heavily weighted toward recent sales. A concentrated burst of sales in a 24-hour period will shoot you up the rankings faster than the same number of sales spread over a week or month. Think of it as a sprint, not a marathon. You don't need sustained sales over weeks or months. You need one strategic day of focused sales activity. That's it. Get enough people to buy your book within that narrow window, and you can claim your bestseller status. The beauty of this approach? Once you hit that bestseller rank, even if it's just for a day, you've earned it. That Amazon best-selling author credential is yours to keep. Pro tips, category selection, and strategy. There are 3 key insights you need to know about becoming an Amazon bestseller. 1. Choose your categories wisely. Amazon lets you select up to 3 categories for your book. This choice matters a lot. We use specialized software that shows us exactly how many sales you need in a single day to hit number 1 in each category. Some categories need 500 sales. Some need 100. Some might need only 50. The key? Know your target number before launch day. No guessing. 2. Individual sales matter. Here's a common mistake to avoid. You can't just buy hundreds of copies yourself. Amazon's algorithm is smarter than that. They require sales from individual Amazon accounts, active Prime accounts with purchase history, purchases spread across different buyers. This is where your inner circle from Chapter 1 becomes crucial. You need real people who will commit to buying your book on launch day. 3. The Kindle strategy. Here's an insider secret. Launching with Kindle gives you a significant advantage: less competition than physical books. Lower price point, typically 99 cents for launch day. Makes it easier for supporters to buy. Same credentials, easier path. When you achieve bestseller status, you don't specify Kindle bestseller. You're simply an Amazon best-selling author. The path you take to get there doesn't matter. Leveraging your bestseller status. Remember, achieving bestseller status isn't the end goal. It's the beginning of a new phase of authority marketing. Here's how to maximize its impact. High-impact placements. Your bestseller status belongs anywhere prospects make decisions about working with you. Client presentations, especially introductory slides. Speaking introductions and materials. professional bio and website, email signature, LinkedIn profile and professional directories, marketing collateral, book cover for future editions. Pro tip: compliance departments typically approve Amazon best-selling author because it's a verifiable credential. Always keep a screenshot of your bestseller ranking for documentation. From vision to bestseller, Anton's story. Let me share a story that perfectly illustrates the power of strategic bestseller campaigns. Anton J. Anderson, CEO of Elite Resource Team, had been training financial advisors and CPAs for over a decade. He had the expertise, the audience, and a compelling reason to write a book. His company's 10th anniversary was approaching. But Anton faced a common challenge. Like many successful professionals, he'd tried writing a book before. That first attempt never made it to publication, leaving him skeptical about trying again. "I didn't anticipate ever doing that again," he admitted. Here's where the story takes an interesting turn. When Anton decided to give it another shot, he didn't just want to publish a book. He wanted to make a real impact. He understood that becoming a best-selling author would add credibility to his decade of work training advisors. Working with our team, we developed a strategic plan, identified the right Amazon categories for his book, built a launch team from his extensive professional network, timed the launch to coincide with his annual Elite Growth Academy event, coordinated the one-day push needed for bestseller status. The results? The art of collaboration hit Amazon bestseller status, and the impact was immediate. Speaking requests increased. Media opportunities opened up. His credibility in the industry reached new heights. But here's what really matters. Anton leveraged his bestseller status to accelerate trust with potential clients. As he puts it, the bestseller credential opened doors that would have taken years to crack otherwise. It's not about ego, it's about impact. This is exactly why we focus on Amazon bestseller campaigns. They're achievable, measurable, and when executed properly, they deliver real business results. Anton's story isn't unique, it's repeatable. With the right strategy and team behind you, you can achieve the same results. Putting it all together. Let's recap what we've covered about becoming an Amazon best-selling author. It's about strategic timing, not total sales volume. The right category selection makes all the difference. Kindle offers the most accessible path. Your inner circle is helpful for launch day success. The credential opens doors long after your launch. But here's what I really want you to understand. Becoming a best-selling author isn't just about bragging rights. It's about accelerating your impact. Every time that credential helps you land a podcast interview, secure a speaking engagement, or build trust with a prospect, you're expanding your ability to help more people with their financial futures. In the next chapter, we'll explore the audiobook advantage and why turning your book into an audio format might be even more important than the physical book itself. As you'll see, meeting your prospects where they are, whether that's during their commute, at the gym, or on their morning walk, can dramatically increase your book's impact and reach. Chapter 4. The Audiobook Advantage. Let me tell you a story about my dog, Potato Chips. Every morning we go for our walk, and you know what? Those 45 minutes used to just be about picking up after him and making sure he didn't chase squirrels. But then something changed. I started using that time to listen to audiobooks, and suddenly our daily walks became my most productive learning time of the day. Why audio matters now more than ever. The audiobook industry is exploding. We're talking about a $35 billion market by 2030. But here's what really gets me excited. 67% of people say they read more books after discovering audiobooks. Think about that for a second. These aren't just casual listeners. These are people who found a way to consume more content because audio fits their lifestyle. Let me break down exactly how people are consuming audiobooks. 63% listen during their commute, perfect for busy professionals. 54% while doing household chores, making dead time productive, 44% while relaxing, because sometimes your eyes need a break. Let me be really clear about something. If you want your message to actually get into people's heads, audio isn't just an option anymore, it's essential. And here's why. People are busy. Your ideal clients are driving to and from work, exercising at the gym, walking their dogs. Maybe not named potato chips, but you get the idea. Doing household chores, trying to make the most of every minute. Think about your own routine. Some days, you might want to curl up with a physical book and take notes. Other times, you're driving to work wishing you could make that commute time more productive. And sometimes, you just want to quickly search for that one specific concept you remember reading. That's exactly why we need to give people options. Your ideal client shouldn't have to adapt to your preferred format. You should meet them where they are. Let me show you exactly how this works. Physical book. Perfect for deep study and note-taking, ideal for visual learners who like to highlight and bookmark. Creates a tangible presence on their desk or bookshelf. Great for those who retain information better through physical interaction. Digital version. Provides instant access the moment someone is interested. Makes it easy to search for specific concepts or strategies. Perfect for quick reference during client meetings. Allows readers to adjust text size and formatting for comfort. Audiobook. Transforms dead time into learning time during commutes or exercise. Let busy professionals consume your content while multitasking. Creates a more intimate connection through voice. Often leads to higher completion rates, especially for time-pressed professionals. Here's what matters. Stop thinking about format as limited choices. Instead, give your readers the freedom to engage with your message in whatever way works best for them at any given moment. Because at the end of the day, it's not about how they consume your expertise, it's about ensuring that they do. The great narration debate. Now let me tell you something interesting about audiobook creation. I've tried literally every option available, and here's what I've learned. DIY narration. Pros. Builds the strongest connection. Your authentic voice can be published everywhere, perfect for building authority. Cons. Time-consuming. Requires good equipment, need quiet recording space, can be technically challenging. Professional voice actor. Pros. Polished sound, consistent quality, no technical hassles. Cons. Expensive. Loses personal connection. Takes time to find the right voice. Less authentic feel. AI narration. Pros. Cost effective. Consistent quality. Quick turnaround. Can clone your voice. Cons. Some platforms restrict it. May feel less personal. Technology still evolving. Here's what's really interesting. I've done blind tests with all three versions. Want to know what surprised me most? The AI version, especially with voice cloning, often tested better than my own narration. Why? Because it's me, but it's me on my absolute best day with perfect consistency and energy. How to create an engaging audiobook. Let me tell you something crucial about audiobook structure. It's not just about reading your book into a microphone. There's an art to what you include and what you leave out. I've put together what I call the Audiobook Elements Guide that shows you exactly what to include in your audio version. Here's why this matters. When someone's listening to your book while walking their dog or driving to work, they need a smooth, uninterrupted experience. Everything you include should serve the listener's experience. If it doesn't make the content clearer or more engaging, leave it out. Think of your audiobook like a podcast episode. You want it to flow naturally, keep your listener engaged, and deliver your message effectively. This guide helps you strike that perfect balance between completeness and clarity. Remember, your goal isn't to perfectly replicate your physical book. It's to create an engaging listening experience that delivers your expertise in the most effective way possible. The distribution strategy. Here's where most people get this completely wrong. They think they need to be exclusively on Audible. But remember what we learned about Amazon in Chapter 2? The same principle applies here. Primary strategy. Free audiobook as lead magnet. Offer the audiobook on your book website. Trade for email addresses to build your list. Start the nurturing relationship. See an example at www.theshortbookformula.com. Secondary strategy. Audible.com distribution. Consider Audible as a supplementary platform. Important considerations. 1. AI narration restrictions. Policies vary and are evolving. 2. Some authors can use AI narration, others cannot. Key principle. Just like with Amazon, don't focus on royalties. Focus on making your content easily accessible, building your email list, creating multiple touch points, converting listeners into prospects, putting it all together. Key takeaways. The audiobook market will reach $35 billion by 2030. This transformation in content consumption is here to stay. People consume 67% more books after discovering audio formats. It's expanding how we learn, not replacing traditional reading. Your clients are already converting dead time into learning time. Your content needs to meet them there. Remember, the goal isn't selling audiobooks, it's delivering your message in whatever format works best for your audience. Whether they read it on paper, listen during their commute, or learn it from their dog, what matters is that they engage with and understand your expertise. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to leverage your virtual speaking tour to turn podcast appearances into a steady stream of ideal prospects. Chapter 5. The virtual speaking tour, your guest podcast strategy. You're sitting in your office sipping your morning coffee when suddenly your phone lights up with a notification. It's an email from a potential high net worth client who wants to schedule a meeting with you. But here's the thing. You don't know who they are. In fact, they are nowhere in your CRM, client relationship management software, to be found. Intrigued, you schedule a Zoom call for later that week. As the meeting begins, you're in for a pleasant surprise. Not only did they listen to a podcast episode you were recently a guest on, but they've listened to it twice. They've gone ahead and purchased a copy of your book, and they've already read it cover to cover. As the conversation unfolds, you find yourself in a surreal situation. Instead of you giving your usual pitch, they're the ones telling you why they agree with your approach. They're recounting stories from your book and asking you if you'd be able to take them on as a client. You sit there almost stunned as you realize this is even better than most of the referrals you get. You don't need to do any selling. You simply need to be a good listener, ask thoughtful questions, and determine the best next steps. The prospect is, in fact, pre-sold. This isn't just a dream scenario. It's a real possibility when you leverage your book through what I call the virtual speaking tour. Sound too good to be true? Well, let me tell you, it's not only possible, it's exactly what should happen to you when you implement this strategy. I've experienced this countless times firsthand, and I've seen the same thing happen to financial professionals I've worked with. In this chapter, I'll show you how you can leverage your newly published book through a virtual speaking tour to attract your ideal clients, establish yourself as a thought leader, and grow your financial practice in ways you never thought possible. The virtual speaking tour, supercharging your book's reach through strategic podcast guesting. You've just poured your heart and soul into writing your book. It's out there in the world, but now what? How do you get it into the hands of the people who need it most? Enter the virtual speaking tour. It's like the cool tech-savvy cousin of the traditional book tour. Remember those? Authors would jet set across the country, popping into bookstores for signings and readings. Well, we're taking that concept and modernizing it for the digital age. Of course, if Oprah calls and wants you on her show, by all means, hop on that plane. Some things are worth the jet lag. Now, let's clear up a common misconception right off the bat. When I talk about a virtual speaking tour, I'm not talking about starting your own podcast. That's a whole different ballgame. No, what we're focusing on here is you being a guest on other people's podcasts. It's about leveraging established shows with built-in audiences who are already primed to hear from experts like you. This approach is all about maximizing your reach and impact without the ongoing commitment of running your own show. But let's be clear, this isn't about spray and pray. We're not talking about appearing on any podcast that'll have you. Nope. This is precision marketing at its finest. You're going to be targeting podcasts that your dream clients are already tuning into. It's like fishing where the fish are, but in this case, the fish are your ideal clients, and the podcasts are the ponds. Think about it. You're leveraging audiences that other people have spent years building. These podcast hosts have cultivated trust with their listeners, and when you show up as a guest, bringing your A game and the insights from your book, you're tapping into that trust. And here's the beauty of it all. While you're sharing your expertise and connecting with potential clients, you're also creating a treasure trove of content. Each podcast appearance can be repurposed into blog posts, social media content, email newsletters, you name it. It's the gift that keeps on giving. My first appearance on Quantum Growth for Financial Advisors podcast. Let me share a story that'll show you why a virtual speaking tour can be an absolute game changer. It's early 2023, and I've just published the first edition of the short book formula. I'm pumped, but I know the real work is just beginning. I need to get this book in front of more eyeballs, and fast. So I came up with a plan. Webinars and guest podcasting, both laser focused on spreading the word about my book to financial professionals. Now, both strategies worked, but let me tell you, the guest podcasting, what I now call the virtual speaking tour, that's where the magic really happened. Here's where it gets really good. I land a spot on the Quantum Growth for Financial Advisors podcast with Jonathan Cutton. At first, I thought, great, another chance to get my message out to his audience of financial advisors. But boy, was I in for a surprise. Before we even hit record, Jonathan shares something interesting. Turns out, he's not just interested in my expertise for his audience, he wants to pick my brain about writing his own book. And then he starts filling me in on who he is. He's the CEO of Cutton Wealth Management, a wealth management firm that handles over $10 billion in assets under management. He's a Barron's Hall of Fame advisor and the number one producer out of nearly 10,000 advisors at Ameriprise. Talk about a golden opportunity falling right into my lap. If I tried to cold call this guy, I'd probably still be waiting for a call back. But because I had my book as my calling card and used it to land podcast gigs, I found myself having a one-on-one with one of the top dogs in the industry. This single podcast appearance led to massive opportunities for me throughout 2023 and to this day. If marketing was this fun, you'd want to do a lot more of it. In my experience, I find that being a guest on these podcasts and talking about my book is one of the most enjoyable ways to market my company and build my personal brand. Why? Well, first, I get to spend 30 minutes or more with someone who is genuinely interested in me, asking thoughtful questions, has done their research, and is giving me an opportunity and a platform to tell my story and the value that I bring. That, in and of itself, is inherently satisfying. All that time and energy you spent writing your book, this is one of the key ways it pays off. You feel like a star. It's not just about promotion, it's about connection and validation. You're having in-depth conversations about topics you're passionate about, sharing insights you've poured into your book, and engaging with hosts who are truly interested in what you have to say. And let me tell you, this enthusiasm is contagious. When you're enjoying the conversation, that energy comes through to the listeners. They can hear the passion in your voice, the depth of your knowledge, and it makes them want to know more about you and your work. Plus, these podcast appearances often lead to unexpected opportunities. I can't tell you how many times I've finished recording an episode, only to have the host reach out afterward about collaborating on other projects or hiring me to help them write their book. Your book opens the door, but it's these genuine conversations that build lasting professional relationships. Remember, your ideal clients are out there looking for exactly what you offer. By appearing on these podcasts, you're making it easier for them to find you. You're not interrupting their day with a sales pitch. You're providing value and insights in a format they've chosen to engage with. And when they hear you articulate the ideas from your book, they'll be eager to learn more. So don't think of your virtual speaking tour as a marketing chore. Think of it as a series of exciting opportunities to share your passion, connect with like-minded professionals, and yes, attract those ideal clients who are looking for exactly what you offer. Your book has given you the key to this world of opportunities. According to research, podcast listeners tend to be highly engaged. Research shows that 80% of podcast listeners listen to all or most of each episode, indicating they are likely to hear a guest's full message. Benefits of a virtual speaking tour. 1. Cost effective. Think about what it costs to speak at a conference. Travel, accommodation, time away from your practice. Now, compare that to sitting in your office or, heck, your living room and reaching potentially thousands of listeners through a podcast. 2. Scalability. With a physical speaking tour, you're limited by geography and time. With a virtual speaking tour, those limitations disappear. You can be on a podcast in New York in the morning and one in LA in the afternoon, all without leaving your desk. And remember, these episodes live on. People can discover them months or even years later. 3. Content creation. Here's a secret. One podcast appearance can fuel your content marketing for weeks. You can turn that episode into blog posts, social media content, email newsletters, you name it. It's content creation on steroids. Repurpose your podcast content across all your marketing channels for maximum impact. 4. SEO benefits. Every podcast you appear on is likely to link back to your website. This improves your search engine optimization, SEO, which is how Google and other search engines determine where your website should rank in search results. When multiple respected websites link to yours, search engines view your site as more authoritative and trustworthy, helping you rank higher when prospects search online. 5. Brand building. Each podcast appearance is an opportunity to reinforce your personal brand. You're not just sharing information, you're telling your story, sharing your unique perspective, and connecting with listeners on a personal level. This is how you build a brand that resonates with your ideal clients. 6. Email marketing. Use your podcast appearances as a reason to reach out to your email list. Share key insights from your interviews and invite your subscribers to listen to the full episode. This keeps you top of mind with your audience and provides valuable content to your subscribers. 7. Networking. Don't underestimate the networking opportunities that come with podcast appearances. Look for opportunities to collaborate further with the hosts. These relationships can lead to valuable partnerships and referrals down the line. When 1 + 1 = 3, the authority multiplier effect. Let me explain something crucial about amplifying your authority. Your book represents the distillation of your core message, your key value proposition, your unique perspective, and what you want to be known for. It's what attracts the right clients to work with you. This is where the virtual speaking tour becomes transformative. I call this a 1 + 1 = 3 activity, and here's why. First, there's the power of authorship. Being an author carries unique weight in our culture. It's on many people's bucket lists, but few actually do it. Those who do earn instant respect. Then there's speaking. As Jerry Seinfeld famously joked, most people would rather be in the casket than give the eulogy at a funeral. Public speaking consistently ranks as one of people's greatest fears. So when you're willing to step up and share your message, it commands attention. But here's where the magic happens. When you combine these two authority markers, author and speaker, you create something more powerful than either one alone. It's not just addition, it's multiplication. The synergy between your book and your speaking creates an authority multiplier effect. This is why the virtual speaking tour is so powerful. It lets you leverage both forms of authority simultaneously, amplifying your message to exactly the niche audiences you want to serve. When podcast hosts introduce you as an author, or better yet, best-selling author, you're instantly positioned as someone worth listening to. The result? Listeners don't just hear your message, they seek out your book, connect with your ideas, and ultimately reach out to work with you. Don't go it alone. While there are enormous benefits to embarking on a virtual speaking tour and repurposing that content into your ongoing marketing efforts, getting on high-quality shows that are relevant to your target audience can be a real challenge if you try to go it alone. Sure, there are exceptions. If you already know a podcast host, you can reach out to them directly. Or if you have a connection who can introduce you to a host, that's fantastic. But beyond these warm introductions, you're swimming in a sea of cold outreach. And let me tell you, that water can be pretty chilly. This is where working with a professional booking agency like my company can be enormously helpful. We can help you navigate this process seamlessly, leveraging our established relationships and industry know-how to land you spots on shows that matter. And for our podcast booking services, we only work with authors. Why? Because your book is your passport to success in the podcasting world. It's what sets you apart from the countless other guests vying for that coveted spot. But it's not just about getting on these shows, it's about turning those appearances into tangible results. Guest podcasting can be incredibly effective in converting listeners into scheduled appointments, but only if you play it smart. Here's a pro tip. At the end of almost every podcast episode, the host will ask, "Where can people find out more about you?" This is your golden opportunity, and you'd be amazed how many people waste it. If someone is stuck around to the very end of the episode, you can bet they're interested in the topic and, more importantly, in you. The podcast host is essentially giving you a one-to-many referral, and you need to capitalize on it. That's why I recommend having what I call a book-centric website or landing page in place, as we discussed in Chapter 2. You can see an example of this at www.theshortbookformula.com. When the host asks where people can reach out or find more about you, even if you have multiple websites, be very specific. Say something like, "You can go to my website at yourbookwebsite.com to get a free copy of my book, including my audiobook. And while you're there, if you want to schedule time on my calendar, you'll find my calendar link there as well." Here's why this works. Not everyone will immediately schedule an appointment. In fact, in my experience, I find that it's about a 50-50 split. Half the people who end up on your calendar will first listen to or read your book, then schedule. The other half will schedule right away without reading your book. By having one place for them to go that offers both pathways, you're catering to both types of potential clients. And the best part? This doesn't cost you a cent. If you check out my website, you'll see that you can deliver a free version of your book to them. Remember, this isn't about royalties. It's about attracting ideal clients to your message and ultimately to you. By leveraging this strategy, you're not just appearing on podcasts, you're creating a clear, compelling path for listeners to become clients. It's about making the most of every opportunity. So if you already have your book and the idea of the virtual speaking tour gets your heart racing in a good way, I'd love to chat. Reach out to me at paul@moreclientsmorefun.com, and we can explore whether you're a good candidate for our services. Putting it all together. The virtual speaking tour can be a game changer. It's not just about getting your name out there, it's about turbocharging your influence, positioning yourself as the go-to expert in your field and attracting high-value clients who are pre-sold on what you're offering. It can also be a content creation machine. Each podcast appearance gives you a gold mine of material you can repurpose for your existing clients, prospects, and email list. It's like getting multiple bangs for your buck. Key takeaways. 1. Think of the virtual speaking tour as your book tour on steroids, minus the jet lag. 2. Guest podcasting lets you piggyback on someone else's audience. Talk about a shortcut. 3. Your book is your VIP pass to the podcast party. Don't leave home without it. 4. Podcast guesting can be really enjoyable and doesn't take much time to prepare for because you are going to be speaking about your book content. 5. A book-centric website is your secret weapon for seamlessly turning listeners into appointments. 6. Working with a booking agency is like having a backstage pass to the best shows. Rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being yikes, not ready, and 5 being bring it on. How do you stack up? 1. I know my target audience and their podcast habits like the back of my hand. 2. I can talk about my book in my sleep and make it interesting. 3. I've got a killer book-centric website ready to capture leads. 4. I've got a game plan for repurposing podcast content. 5. I can drop value bombs on podcasts without giving away the farm. Tally it up, add up your scores, and see where you land. 21 to 25. You are a virtual speaking tour natural. Now, you just need a partner to get you booked on the right podcasts. 11 to 20. You're on the right track, but could use some further guidance. 10 and below. Hey, don't sweat it. Maybe public speaking isn't your thing. If you scored 11 and above, we've got 2 options for you to take advantage of. 1. Our virtual speaking tour booking service. We'll schedule you on multiple relevant podcasts and help you bring your A game to each appearance. 2. Our Authority Accelerator program. This is the whole enchilada. We'll not only book you on podcasts, but also help you with marketing and repurposing your content. In the next chapter, we'll discuss how you can use your book to build relationships with centers of influence and generate an ongoing stream of referrals. Chapter 6. The Center of Influence, COI Strategy. Supercharging your referral network. I want to show you something fascinating about CPAs and attorneys. While most advisors struggle to get referrals from these professionals, there's a simple strategy that changes everything: inviting them to write your book's foreword. Think about it. The foreword sets the tone for your entire book. When a CPA or attorney writes it, they're not just making a referral. They're putting their professional reputation behind your message. And as we discussed in Chapter 1 with the Benjamin Franklin effect, once they do you this favor, they become even more invested in your success. It transforms them from casual referral partners into true advocates for your work. Let me show you what this looks like in practice. One of our clients, we'll call her Sarah to protect her privacy, had a network of 10 CPA firms, good relationships, but the referrals were inconsistent. Then she tried something different. She invited each CPA to write a custom foreword. A custom foreword means every CPA gets their own special edition of the book. If you work with 10 CPAs, you create 10 different versions of your book, each one showcasing a different CPA's foreword. When they share it with clients, they're sharing their personal edition, the one that opens with their own professional insights and endorsement of you. The results? In just 6 months, Sarah's referrals jumped 300%. She gained 87 new high-value clients. But here's what's really interesting. This wasn't just about getting more referrals. The entire relationship dynamic shifted. These CPAs became active advocates for her practice, and it all started with a simple insight. People support a world they help build. Making the initial approach. Before we identify who belongs on your centers of influence list, let me share something crucial. If you followed our inner circle strategy from Chapter 1, you've already laid the groundwork with these professionals. That early involvement makes this next phase much more natural. Here's who we're targeting: CPAs who work with your ideal client profile, estate planning attorneys, business law specialists, property and casualty agents, other professionals serving your target market. Now, here's exactly what to say, and I mean exactly. I've tested this hundreds of times. I wrote this book to help our shared clients better understand specific financial topic. I thought you might find it useful in your practice as well. But instead of just giving them a copy, you follow up with, "I'd love to create a custom version of the book with your name on the cover as the foreword writer. Would you be interested in writing the foreword?" Let me break down why this works so well. They instantly become more interested. Their name on a book. They'll actually read your book. Nobody puts their name on something they haven't read. They become invested in its success. They have ownership in the message. The mass distribution play. Here's where this strategy becomes even more powerful. Once your COI has their custom version with their foreword, here's exactly what you say. Now that you've written the foreword, what if we sent your version of the book to all of your clients? I'll cover the cost, and you can write a letter introducing it as a valuable resource you're sharing with them. Think about what just happened. You've turned one relationship into 1,000 touches. The CPA is actively endorsing you. You're reaching their entire client base. It's a one-to-many referral. Let me show you exactly how this works in practice. Here's the letter template that one of our most successful advisors uses. Here is one of the letters her CPA partner sent out to their entire client base. "Dear valued client of Acorn Accounting, we are thinking of you outside of the normal tax season. As a valued client of Acorn Accounting, we are always looking for ways to enhance the services we offer you and ensure your financial well-being. Today, I am excited to introduce you to an exceptional opportunity to elevate your financial planning through our collaboration with Cornerstone Financial Advisors. Cornerstone Financial Advisors, led by Sarah Thompson, is a distinguished firm, recognized for their excellence and commitment to their clients. They have been honored as a Forbes Best in state wealth management practice. Why Cornerstone Financial Advisors? Expertise and experience. With a legacy of success and a team of seasoned professionals, Cornerstone Financial Advisors offers unparalleled expertise in wealth management and financial planning. Customized financial solutions. Their tailored financial planning approach provides personalized strategies to meet your unique financial goals and needs, ensuring that every aspect of your financial life is addressed. Proven track record. Their recognition by Financial Times and Money Magazine speaks volumes about their dedication to excellence and the trust they have earned from their clients. What this means for you: by collaborating with Cornerstone Financial Advisors, you will gain access to comprehensive financial planning and investment strategies, advanced wealth management services, a dedicated team committed to helping you achieve your financial aspirations. We believe that this partnership will bring tremendous value to you, and we are confident that Cornerstone Financial Advisors will provide the exceptional service and results you deserve. To learn more about how Cornerstone Financial Advisors can benefit you, we encourage you to reach out directly to Sarah Thompson. She is excited to speak with our valued clients and can provide more detailed information about their services. You can contact Sarah at Sarah Thompson, founder and CEO, Cornerstone Financial Advisors. Phone 555-123-4567. Email sarah.thompson@cornerstonefa.com. When you contact Sarah, please mention that you're a valued client of Acorn Accounting. She'll be happy to schedule a personalized consultation to discuss your specific financial needs and goals. As an added bonus, we're pleased to provide you with a complimentary copy of Sarah's book, Building Your Financial Future, a comprehensive guide to wealth management. You'll find my personal foreword in this special edition, highlighting how our firms work together to provide you with comprehensive financial services. Thank you for your continued trust in Acorn Accounting. We look forward to helping you achieve greater financial success through our partnership with Cornerstone Financial Advisors. Warm regards, your name. Managing Partner, Acorn Accounting. Tracking success. Here's what you need to measure. Books distributed through each COI. Consultation requests, conversion rates, referral momentum. The hidden cost of not acting. Let's look at what happens when advisors take a partial approach to this strategy. They might recognize its potential, agree it makes perfect sense, and then not implement it. Maybe they'll work with 1 or 2 COIs instead of 10. Maybe they'll skip the custom forward, or most commonly, they put it on the perpetual someday list. But here's the truth. Someday is not a day of the week. The numbers tell a compelling story about what this hesitation actually costs. Let's break it down step by step. Each COI typically has around 500 qualified clients. A well-executed campaign achieves a 3 to 5% response rate. That translates to 15 to 25 qualified prospects per COI. With a conservative 30% conversion rate, you're looking at 5 to 8 new clients. At an average lifetime value of $25,000 per client. That's $125,000 to $200,000 in new revenue per COI. Now multiply that by the number of COIs you're not approaching. If you're working with just 2 COIs instead of 10, you're potentially leaving over $1 million in revenue on the table, and that's a conservative estimate that doesn't account for referrals these new clients might generate. This isn't just about lost opportunity, it's about the compound effect of delaying action. Every month you wait is another month these relationships aren't developing, another month these prospects aren't discovering you through their trusted advisors, and another month your competition might be building these relationships instead. Pulling it all together. Let me share something crucial about what we've covered in this chapter. This isn't just another marketing strategy. Most advisors are stuck in the old way of doing COI marketing, building one-to-one relationships, and hoping for the occasional referral. But your book changes everything. Think about what we've built here. A system that turns casual relationships into active partnerships. A strategy that puts CPAs and attorneys' names literally on your book. A process that transforms one relationship into thousands of touches. A method that generates consistent, qualified referrals month after month. Remember Sarah's results? 87 new high-value clients in 6 months. That wasn't luck, it was the system. A system you can implement in your practice starting today. In the next chapter, we'll talk about your path forward and how to effectively implement everything you've learned in this book. Because knowing these strategies is just the beginning. It's what you do with them that matters. Chapter 7. The path forward. Imagine having 6 proven tools that could transform your book into a client attraction machine. Like a Swiss Army knife, each tool is powerful on its own. But when you master them all, that's when everything changes. The integrated approach. Think of it this way. Each strategy unlocks the power of the next. Your inner circle launch builds your foundation of social proof and early advocates. Your book website and Amazon presence turn that momentum into a lead generation system. Your Amazon bestseller campaign leverages this initial support for broader credibility. Your audiobook expands your reach to busy professionals. Your podcast appearances amplify your message to ideal prospects. Your COI program transforms all of this into systematic referrals. This isn't just a list of random tactics. Each strategy builds on and enhances what came before. It's like compound interest for your authority, each piece making the others exponentially more powerful. Your path forward. Implementation is everything. Let me share something that completely changed my approach to teaching these strategies. It's called the 70-20-10 rule, and I learned it from Ray Kelly at Think to Perform. Here's the reality check. 70% of success comes from doing actual implementation. 20% comes from coaching and mentoring. 10% comes from reading and studying. Think about that for a second. This book you're holding, it's only 10% of the journey. Don't get me wrong, it's an essential 10%. You need to understand these strategies before you can implement them, but reading about these strategies isn't enough. You need to actually do them. Let me share something I've learned from working with close to 500 advisors. If these activities were already in your comfort zone, you'd probably be doing them already. These are new muscles you're building, new systems you're implementing, new ways of thinking about your book's potential. Your 2 paths forward. Let me be direct. You've got 2 options. Going it alone. Can you implement these strategies yourself? Absolutely. I've given you the complete blueprint. Every step is laid out in these chapters. If you're the type of person who can take a plan and execute it flawlessly, this might be your path. Working with a coach. But here's what the data shows. The advisors who get the best results fastest are the ones who get help with that crucial 70%, the implementation phase. Take Mark, one of our recent clients. He tried implementing it on his own for 6 months, only to land 2 new clients. In his first month working with a coach, he landed 5. Why? Because he had someone showing him exactly what to do next, overcome obstacles, and hold him accountable to execution. This is why I created something I wish I had when I started, the Book Marketing Coach Program. Think of it as your personal guide to implementing these strategies, helping you avoid the costly mistakes I see most advisors make. Every other week for 6 months, you'll meet with your coach one-on-one via Zoom. Here's exactly how they'll guide you. Transform this blueprint into your personalized 6-month action plan. Break down big strategies into energizing weekly wins. Share insider tips and shortcuts from hundreds of successful advisor launches. Keep you on track and celebrating progress, even when life gets busy. Help you blast through obstacles that stop most advisors in their tracks. Show you exactly what's working and what's not through proven metrics. Fine-tune your approach based on real-world results. Let me be crystal clear. Your coach is your strategic navigator, success catalyst, and accountability partner, not your implementation team. They bring the 20% coaching and mentoring that supercharges your 70% implementation into real results. Making your impact. Let me close with something personal. When I wrote this book, I had one goal in mind: to help financial advisors like you transform their books from passive marketing pieces into active client attraction systems. But as I've worked with hundreds of advisors implementing these strategies, I've discovered something even more important. This isn't just about marketing, it's about impact. Every time an advisor successfully implements these strategies, something remarkable happens. More people get access to quality financial advice. More families make better decisions about their future. More professionals find the guidance they need. More retirees get the support they deserve. Your book has the potential to change lives. Think about it. You've already done something extraordinary by writing it. You've captured your expertise, your insights, and your unique approach to helping people with their finances. Now, it's time to get that message to the people who need it most. A personal thank you. I want to thank you for investing your time in reading this book. I know you're busy. I know there are 1,000 other things competing for your attention. The fact that you've made it this far tells me something important about you. You're serious about making a difference. You're not content with the status quo. You want to stand out, to reach more people, to make a bigger impact. And that's exactly what these strategies can help you do. Your next chapter starts now. Whether you choose to implement these strategies on your own or work with our team through the Book Marketing Coach program, I want you to know this. I'm excited to see what you'll achieve. I've watched advisors use these exact strategies to transform their practices, reach their ideal clients, build their authority, create lasting impact. The only question is, what will your success story look like? Remember, this isn't the end, it's just the beginning. Your book is a powerful tool, and now you have the blueprint to use it effectively. The strategies are proven, the system works. All that's left is implementation. If you'd like support in implementing these strategies, I invite you to reach out to me directly at paul@moreclientsmorefun.com. Let's discuss how we can help you turn your book into the $1 million client attraction system it was meant to be. Here's to your success, and to all the lives you'll change through your work. With gratitude and excitement for your journey ahead, Paul.